Let's just sit back, decline, and drink a little wine until you touch her feline. Um, oh, there's a lot of kitty litter all over the place. Well, not anywhere near Diddy's house. Even though I feel like this is the type of fruity wine he would drink. Not there's anything wrong with that. But I guess he's more of a Ciroc guy. Well, he sure likes laying some rock on cakes. TD, Cakey Jakes. But yeah, apparently Usher is a gusher. Not the type of burn you're looking for. Nice and slow, it don't matter. That's what it's made for. Sorry. Yep. A lot of Diddy stuff out there. You know, it's the talk of the town. Oh, yeah, and there's a big old hurricane and stuff. But, you know, I know there's floods and all that stuff. But we got, you know, apparently we're obsessed with Hollywood predators. It's an open secret. So, I guess there's rumors he's being held in a cell with the NFTX Sam Bankman-Fried, which is odd. It's like, hey, if that doesn't sound like a conspiracy within itself, like if you were a person so against any type of conspiracy, we can pair this person with any cellmate in the prison system. Let's put them in a cell or next to someone who ran one of the biggest billionaire scams in that space. And let's put this billionaire trafficker in another. And let's put them together, you know. I understand in prison, you're not going to have the greatest people to pick together. But let's not have those two people. If you don't think those people can devise a plan inside of prison to still make stuff happen in the outside world, well, you know. I think it just goes to show that they don't really take this stuff serious. But yeah. Apparently, there's this thing with Jaguar Wright, you know. People are like, who is that? You know, she's someone who she spills all of the beans. Why is Russell Simmons hanging out somewhere in Bali, escaping, not coming back to America? It's like, oh, what? I can't retire and experience life. It's like the timing's a little bit off. All these CEOs are resigning because of this trickle down effect, or more like pickle down effect. Well, they be cramping after. But, you know, it is sad overall because there are people in the industry that have become kind of succumb. Probably not the greatest terms. Where you're young, you be taken advantage of, whether that's physically or contractually or both. And you get these Bieber situations. You get these Trey Songz. You get Orlando Browns. You get these people, Meek Mill apparently, French Montana. You just get a row of rappers, celebrities. Ashton Kutcher's getting caught up in this stuff. Like Leonardo DiCaprio, saying, oh, now a lot of clips are resurfacing. Who's your favorite person to party with? The guy from Titanic. Well, he's part of a sinking ship now. He might want to recreate that Revenant role. And he may want to take those skills he learned for that movie. And he might need to go disappear in the wild too. Because it's about to get bad out here. It really is. Everything's being exposed. I don't know how to feel about it, you know. I don't believe everything should be out there for the world. I believe people should be exposed for terrible things they've done. But is it always necessary if it's just individual issues? I don't know. But Jaguar Wright, she's out here airing it all out. she is the tell-all book, but of real life. Like, there's these Kim Porter diaries that apparently are being sold as a book. It's like, it seems like odd timing. Like, you guys have had attachments to these diary postings, and now they want to, whoever is in her estate wants to post all this stuff because of the timing. It seems like, I'm not going to say it's wrong for profiting off of your own trauma, but at the same time, it's like, you're kind of positioning this when this stuff's been out for years. You could have posted 10, 15 years ago, but I guess it may have not been taken as serious. But now that everything's taken serious, maybe you feel more safe that he's in jail. I don't know, you know? But yeah. Diddy likes when men dance. I don't know what it is. There's LeBron James rapping at one of his parties, which is like, I'm going to be honest, if you're a married man at a Diddy party, I hate to break it to the wives of, they did something at that party that probably broke the infidelity. I'm pretty sure you would hope it's a woman, but I can't promise that. Not saying LeBron, LeBron, he would never do that to Savannah. But, but yeah, in all seriousness, though, it's just a real overall sad situation. Why is he named Diddy? Because you take the I out, you get daddy. And he's the daddy of the industry now. He really is like the Harvey Weinstein, but of the rap industry. And it's not because of the crimes. It's because of the power he has. And the fact that people were so afraid. Like, it was this open secret. People were so afraid for the longest time. And people only felt safe and even people are still not speaking about it. Is when they've been fully arrested and essentially their life's over, right? It took insurmountable evidence for this stuff to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe it's not. Maybe we can now speak about what's wrong. But I think to be honest, I think what this Diddy stuff exposes, and everyone involved from, I want to say, like, not even people that are guilty of stuff, but people that associate with behaviors of the lifestyle, like other actors that participated at his parties, went there, knew what went down, went there and continuously over and over. Like, there was something that they liked about the parties, And, I get it, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't all just flamboyancy. I'm pretty sure it was. There was a lot of ladies there for men to enjoy. But, they all knew the territory that comes with it. And what it shows is that these people that are being dragged into, the Leo DiCaprios, the Ashton Kutchers, people that have any association with being friends with Diddy or having any type of personal business relationships, is that morals can always be bended, no pun intended. Morals can always be bended when convenience arises for something you need. And for a lot of these, it was early in their careers, or like early enough in the primes where the potential was there. And being associated with Diddy or being introduced to a different life brings a little bit of credibility, brings some status to you. And for a lot of these people, it's about status. Popularity sells. That's how you make money. It's not always about being the best at what you do. You have to be good enough. But the association with status matters even more, because the business opportunities it could give you. In most sports, typically the better you are, the more likely you are to make more money off the field. But that's not always the case. There's basketball players with shoe deals that were good players, but not the greatest. And there's basketball players that have shoe deals that are good, but they're not great. There's football players that have deals that, it's not, they get endorsements, but it's different endorsements, Popularity sells, essentially. So, yeah. Like, Odell Beckham, for example, and not to drag him in this, he just happens to be associated with the Diddy, which a layoff affected Trey Songz, the Bieber, and those club incidents, is that, yes, he had a dynamite rookie year and a banging second year. Pause. But he definitely, he still had a popularity 5 years after he had his, greatest seasons. He is still popular now, and he hasn't had 1,000-yard seasons probably 5 or 6 years, legitimately. He's been okay, but he hasn't been great. But he's still more, for the longest time, he probably had more endorsement deals than Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, these elite top 5 receivers. Because of the image he's selling, his interaction, his engagement on social media, his off the field lifestyle, all these things are kind of they come into effect. But yeah, anyways, so Christian McCaffrey's out there going to Germany, getting his Achilles looked at, or his foot. And the only reason, look, as much as I love to keep up with football, I don't really keep up with it. But what I will say is, based off some of my views, it's kind of weird. He gets paid, and then all of a sudden now he's got all these things. These are things that he's kind of known lingering on, right? And and the doctor is saying, it's kind of odd, these people that specialize, because it's if you're going in middle of the season or this far into it, that means it is something that people that are untrained or people that are generally trained don't have the attention to find the issue of what you're, it's more of a general lingering issue, but it's not a specific, oh, you have a tear here, that there's just something you feel is wrong, but you can't really identify it. And by the way, this shout out to the Total Wine and More. I think this is called, I forgot what the fuck it's called. It's Sweet Red Sweet Juice Welch's Booty Juice, which, by the way, Mountain Dew makes these hard seltzer sodas. Not bad. They're a little warm, but not bad. Whoa. Oh, by the way, welcome to episode 301 of the Offbeat Podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, most important, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to suck some titties. Yeah, recording this on, I think, September 27th, 2024. Probably 28th. At 1:04 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. Whatever the date is. It really don't matter. It's for the archives. But yeah. Christian McCaffrey. As a man that can relate to having a stunning physique. I'm kidding. But goddamn, this creatine is some next level shit. And boy, it makes you shit. It's some next level shitting. People say TMI. I say not enough. Because goddamn, that I don't know what it is. Creatine is the real steroids. I do not care what people say. By definition, a supplement is not natural. Even if it's a natural source, you are putting a pill, a powder in your body to enhance it. Goddamn, this honestly, I don't know why these I'm sure these Olympic athletes, they do everything, right? But like honestly, like all you need is creatine. It solves all your fucking problems. It is a magic supplement. Like I am like, and based off stuff I've read and seen after taking it, and it's exactly lining up. They're like, if you take like 10 grams or more a day, after 7 days, you'll notice a substantial difference in a lot of things. And boy, you do. Creatine is probably the best thing I've ever taken orally. Food wise. It's like it is the best thing I have consumed ever. There's no food that makes me feel as good as that thing. God damn, it's kind of scary. But yeah. I'm feeling like a nice boy from Lowndes, Georgia after cutting the grass for an hour and a half and so gotta do the backyard tomorrow, drinking a little moonshine out of a mason jar. And by moonshine, I mean 11.5% alcohol content. That literally tastes like Waltz's grape juice with a little bit of bite. That's my idea of moonshine. Oh, bend it over where the moon don't shine, and you're at a Diddy party. I know the Diddy jokes are getting old. But at the same time, it's like 20 years of built up shit, you know? So yeah. Ever think about it? Like imagine what it would be like to meet someone like Diddy. I don't mean a predator. I mean someone of that famous stature at that time. Like someone with that power. Imagine meeting like the CEO of Nike or meeting, I guess like, depends on what your interests are. Like meeting like a Neil deGrasse Tyson if you're interested in astrophysics. Or meeting a Bob Lazar if you're obsessed with UFOs. Or meeting a Quentin Tarantino if you're obsessed with directing. Or meeting a Edgar Allan Poe. Well, he's dead, but you get the Raven gist. You get it, right? It is odd that literally the Baltimore Ravens were named after Edgar Allan Poe. Which, by the way, I gotta say, these high school and college courses that like make these obsessive quote by quote questions, I think is so just repetitive to read short stories and poems in these classes. And it's weird, like, I hate when someone's called a short story, but it takes so fucking long compared to reading a book. Like, I think we need to quantify short story. I'll be honest, like, nothing would make me be more out of touch, be more disinterested than reading a short story, right? Because the thing about a short story, you feel like you're getting a uninteresting version of a bigger concept of something. And I'm a very detail-oriented person, but at the same time, do I want to sit there, even if it's assigned and it's my job as a student to read a whole fucking 80-page short story, wherever the fuck? I think also just having those things in those textbooks, it just makes you disengage from the story, where like if you were given like a manual book copy of it at the time, it probably would be different. I do think like if I was ever a teacher that taught literature, I think I would go out of my way to find hard copy books of the stuff that I want to go over and actually read as a class. Because when you just have this big ass textbook and it's like, oh, it's 30 of the 50 pages and all this stuff, it's like, it's not the same when you're going through, and there's so much other shit you can look through this textbook. Like, it's just odd to me. I just don't find reading short stories really relevant to anything. Like, and I hate people that say there's nothing relevant in like general public school curriculum, because that's just not true. There's a lot of value you can find in science, math, all this stuff. But like literature is really like outside of like you just need to know how to be able to read words, form sentences, be able to read some and understand it to an extent. Reading stories over and over just to find that the message is don't be fucking greedy, or oh, don't pretend to be a witch, It's basically all just generally don't lie, be a good person. I actually got a fortune cookie earlier that literally said, you are a romantic. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. And then I gave it to someone else who just lost his girlfriend. Sorry. I was like, here, man, you need it more than me. You need the positivity. I don't. I know I'm a romantic. Oh, because I be romancing the stone. The stones of your scones. I once had a kidney stone. That's how we tie things together. If you ever had a kidney stone, they're not fun. And ironically, I think I got it from drinking too much Mountain Dew. As I look to my fridge, that I just got some Mountain Dew, except the adult version of Mountain Dew. Which, oddly enough, I'm pretty sure this alcoholic version of Mountain Dew that has 0 sugar in it is probably better for my body than drinking regular fucking Mountain Dew, as crazy as that may sound. I'm not advocating alcohol. I do not want to sound like alcohol is better for you than added sugars. What I am saying is, I'm probably not going to feel as bad about it after. At least I get something out of it, other than just taste tantalizations, But I'll tell you what is stupid. And when I went to the alcohol store, the fact that they have the audacity to have non-alcoholic drinks is like, that's fine. I'm not mad at anyone as long as you advertise that. But the fact that they have non-alcoholic rum, I'm like, then it's not rum. Or they'll have non-alcoholic beer. It's like, then it's not beer, okay? And I know someone's going to be all technical, but like, well, beer technically by itself doesn't necessarily mean alcohol. We just associate with that. It's really just the fermentation process of the brewing process. Blah, 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 blah. I know. But what I'm saying is, how lame do you have to be? And I hate to be that guy. How lame do you have to be like, I'm drinking a non-alcoholic Heineken? It's like, bro, just drink water. No one's going to sit there. Or at least if someone is sitting there shitting on you for not drinking when everyone else is, then that's probably not someone you want to be around. So really, the fact that, like, think about this process. We're going to make this fake looking alcohol, put it in an alcoholic looking bottle, put a label that says 0 proof rum, and we're going to have you pay almost the same price as you would pay for the real thing, except you get no effect out of it. You're literally just a jackass for paying for a prototype of the real thing. And alcohol doesn't taste good. So you're literally getting a thing that doesn't taste good, has no effect on you, and you spend money on it just to feel like you're not an asshole, but really you are an asshole. You're Diddy's asshole. God, apparently Usher is a gusher. I can't get over that. I don't know why. I guess that's what it means to say, we good. We ain't good, but we still good. Yeah. Maybe because, ironically, she didn't have that good, but he had that good. I don't know. Oh, Jesus. There are these, actually, that reminds me, there are these viral concert clips, and it kind of feeds into this concert conspiracy that sometimes these artists, they use fake prototype. They use fake copycats to actually go on stage and perform for either nights they can't perform or shit they just don't want to do. And I can't remember if it was Usher, and I think it was. They had some guy up there. And, like, at first glance, you'd be like, yeah, you know, he looks like Usher. And then you're really looking close, and, like, there's a facial expression he makes, and you're, like, watching the way he sings, and you're like, that's not Usher. Maybe he just, you know, maybe he was really sick. Maybe he just didn't look right, you know. But, you know. But, yeah, you know who would never have anyone have a clone on stage? Bruno Mars, because they're making sure that motherfucker performs everything. Because, boy, this dude is in debt. He is in debt. And, you know, at first you hear these things about, like, you think it's over-exaggerated, like, oh, yeah, he's gambled $50 million to MGM. Like, they put out statements. This is just not true. We're good corresponding partners, blah, blah, blah. And then you really, like, start seeing, you're like, you know. And I hate to say, this Jaguar Wright lady is making me, like, really look at a lot of this stuff different. She's like, think about it. If you don't think all these things are industry motivated, it's Anderson .Paak was once, like, he's a married man, or he got his life together, he was sober. And then they put this man with Bruno Mars, who is known for, you know, getting the sniffles out on a regular basis. And all of a sudden, they make Silk Sonic, right? One of the greatest I don't even say underrated, because I think that, but it's weird how, like, they have some of the greatest, like, sonically, no pun, sonically sounded songs you probably heard in current modern day music. From a purity, it's not, like, overly machine, like, instrumented, like, you tell it's, like, real. And it's weird, like, they just made this one great duo album together. Like, we always talk about how, man, you know, if Drake and Travis Scott just made an album, or if J. Cole and Drake, or Kendrick and this artist, like, we just named the best artists. And it's like, you know, Bruno Mars is, like, one of the top pop artists in the world, and Anderson .Paak's, like, been one of those lo-fi, like, in the background, like, pretty well known, but not the most famous. And somehow these two, they made just, like, the most sonically perfectly sounding album. Like, Wiley, everyone, Silk Sonic, and then all of a sudden, you would think if a duo makes this much money, this much torn, this much this, that, and the other, and they just completely just stop making music. Something's odd with that, right? And as you point out, they put these two together because they know it's kind of fucked up, but it's kind of like when you think about drug rehab. The last thing you want to do is be around the people that influence that behavior. So if you have Bruno Mars, who is so actively, I mean, the dude literally was caught with a shitload of cocaine. You could tell by his facial structures, and by, like, this dude is still, like, I don't want to say he's still on stuff, but, you know, it's pretty, like, you know, this dude likes to have fun, you know, whatever. I don't even care. Like, hey, do your thing, man. You sing like that, all the girls Versace's gonna be on the floor. They don't care. Do a few lines off the Versace. They'll still leave the door open for you, Bruno, no matter what. Short Kings. That's what I like. Anyways, but apparently that influence potentially Anderson .Paak's, like, I just, none personal against him. I just, not my lifestyle. But the industry putting them together would bring that type of attitude of music out when you combine people that could potentially have clashing issues that cause issues. Because I do think there is something to, like, dysfunction in people creates great art and music. Like, that is a real thing. Think about your favorite artist. A lot of your favorite artists, your favorite albums were their first, second, and then they may have a classic later on. But, like, the things that got you attached to them was that first and second album when they were hungry, and that struggle was like part of them. You feel like they're talking about the things that you relate to. Then over time, their issues, stuff they talk about, becomes more catchy. It becomes more like what's going to sell. Like it's not always just whatever came to the heart and I wrote that day, you know. Life changes. I do think dysfunctional people in the music industry make the best music, as weird as that sounds. People that have this, maybe they're not dysfunctional, but they had dysfunctional lives. And I think sometimes the industry, they can combine artists that has that deadly combo, and by default it's going to fuck someone's lives up. And I think that's what they may have tried to do to Anderson .Paak. And I think maybe he just like, you know what, it was a one-off thing, I'm good now. So I don't know, you know, it is weird how dysfunction sells, you know. Well, not erectile dysfunction in the porn industry, but dysfunction in general. Yeah. Yep, standing tall though. Oh, Jesus, Jesus. I'm like a bird. So, what do you call a cat with no claws? Bare paws. That was terrible. But you know it's not terrible. I gotta say, you know, I realized something about myself, by the way. Every time I'm about to make a point, I always gotta say, I gotta say. It's like, do I really gotta say? Like, I'm already saying it. I don't gotta say it. I mean, I guess I gotta say it, so I gotta say it. But you say, I gotta. So, there's this one thing I've noticed, right? As a 28-year-old man in this world. Man may be a strong word. I'm like almost fully a man. I'm like 83% way there. You know, I have a little meter in my head. Like, you know, I still do some childish things. I don't always clean my clothes on time. But, you know, I'm a man of high character. I dress more nice. You know, I try to have a decent appearance outside of combing my hair. Oh, where's the honeycomb? Well, you know, when your fridge decides not to work and your apartment complex wants to wait forever to fix it, your milk goes bad, so we're not having any honeycomb tonight, baby. Just sickle cell anemia. But yeah, cereal, highly underrated as a snack, not for breakfast. I really don't understand why cereal is breakfast, by the way. Changed my mind as these political pundit obsession people who, it's not really about politics. They just have this obsession with people with trying to be right about things, but they're not really right most of the time. But changed my mind. I don't think cereal should be considered a breakfast. Even your healthy, I don't think cereal, this dry aged cornmeal shit that we put fake berries and marshmallows, wherever the fuck you put in yours, I don't think it should be, I think it should be considered like a fruit snack. I think it should be considered like a granola bar. Like, we consider those snacks part of something. But like, you're never full after eating cereal. You know, you can eat 4 bowls of cereal. You're not really full. You just, you know, a little constipated. It's not the same thing. But yeah. I forgot where I was going with all that. Talk about kicks and the Cocoa Puffs. Jesus. But yeah. I will tell you this though. Dressing nice, it does make a difference. I have made an emphasis to, even in places where it doesn't really require that, and it's almost counterproductive to wear nice clothes in certain environments, whether that's work or the grocery store, stuff like that. There is something, and I was resistant to this a long time. I do think there is something to when you wear something nice or you just dress like you kind of give a shit about something, I do think you carry yourself different. You're a lot more relaxed. You're a lot more like, you know what? I am shit. And the more and more I go out and I see people just flat out wearing pajamas, wearing unwarranted booty shorts with no booty. Like that, that's a crime within itself. I'm not here to judge, But like, there is this thing where like people are a little too cool going out looking like shit. There's only a couple places where, in my opinion, is socially acceptable. Whereas, I hate to say as a woman. But I'm saying like, as a guy too, like, they're still like, at least put on a jeans and a shirt. People that go out dressed in, nighttime pajamas or, just like complete, just like you look like a rag doll, It's like Waffle House, maybe after like 9 p.m. on. Like, first of all, if you go to Waffle House in the middle of the day, you're a deviant devil. I don't know what's wrong with you. I cannot remember the last time I went to Waffle House before 9 o'clock at night. 9 o'clock is still a little early, by the way. Like, go there in the morning. Like, after like noon, it's a little weird. In between like noon and like 8:30. Alright, I'll give you till like 7:30. I'm not an asshole. I understand shit happens. Anywhere from noon to 7:30, going inside of a Waffle House, it is just not, it's just not it, But, not judging if you do, I'm just saying. But regardless of the time, like, going to the grocery store, dress like you just streamed a cat. What's a better term? Going to the grocery store looking like a Twitch streamer who wears cat headphones and you try to sell your Japanese anime to pedophiles on the internet. So you dress that kind of anime look where you look 15 but you're actually like 25. Weird as hell. I should not be seeing see-through legs while you're getting a loaf of honey wheat bread, There's just something weird about that. I don't understand. And I notice with like middle-aged older people, there's much more conscientious effort. The only time you'll see a middle-aged guy not really dressed like in terms of just like wearing casual clothing, like a shirt and a t-shirt, is like if a guy is just like getting off work, they're wearing a highlight they do construction, they do some shit, like some crazy outdoor shit. They may be dirty and shit, but you tell they came from work. Like, hey, I don't have time. I gotta go pick up this. But like, I notice most people over the age of like 33, like guys and girls, it's a generational thing. Like, there's at least something to just like, when you leave the house, just like, don't look like you think that you're above social standards, And I'm not a person to be part of the social club, but what I am saying is, if you are going out of your way to look like trash, then at least be able to afford trash bags. Just wear a sign that says, I am trash, And it's weird. Because I used to be one of those people, I did not care how people dress. I'm like, who cares? Then the older I get, I'm like, these fuckers. It's like, it'll be like some 22-year-old just like an ass wipe, like wearing a tank top with no shoulders. It's like, hey man, might want to hit the shoulder press. But what, bro? You want to try me? It's like, hey bro, you can't even buy half the shit in my grocery cart. So how about you chill the fuck out with your broke boy ass? Get your broke boy ass out of here. But I got my free meal today, Yeah, I remember those days. You know, it's weird. Like, as much money as I have not had in my life, it is the weirdest thing. I've never felt like I can't go to the grocery store and, like, not spend an okay amount of money, as weird as that sounds. Maybe that's a white privilege thing. Maybe that's a privilege thing in general. Just always feeling like no matter what, I'm going to be okay. I don't even say white privilege, but you know, you get what I'm saying. There's a privilege aspect. Like, it is always weird to me when, like, I see someone at a store and, like, they have stuff in their cart and it's like they're literally just like, I understand if something's overpriced, but it's like you go from like you get stuff and you're literally counting like, oh, this thing's $1.20. This I was like, oh, I literally don't have that. Like, what do you mean you don't have $4 in your account? Like, honestly, like, what do you mean you don't have $4 in your account? You are not living in the middle of the woods. Like you got $4 in your fucking account. And I hate when people say, because I can't tell if people literally mean if they were to open their bank account when they're at these stores and they're like, I literally don't have X amount of my account to pay for this. Or if they just mean I'm not really comfortable wanting to pay this. Or if they look as like, oh, well, I'm going to put most of my money in savings. So in order to stay on my savings trap, I can't spend it. It's like, so you have it, you just decided to do something different with it, which is fine. But I hate when people are like, I have $4 to my name. I'm like, do you really have $4 to your fucking name? Like, do you really think I believe that? You really think as a, I don't know, like a 31-year-old guy that tells me, hey, bro, I really, like, I can't afford, like, hey, man, I can't get this thing, you know, can you buy it? Like, it's weird when you go to, like, a gas station or something, and you're just there, you're picking up, like, a few energy drinks, or you're just getting, you know, just something to eat or whatever, and there's a guy, like, around the counter. He's like, hey, man, you know, can you buy these cigarillos for me? Like, I don't have any cash on me. Like, I don't have any money to pay for it. It's like, one, if you don't have any money, cigarillos are probably the least of your issues right now. Two, did you not think about this before you came here? Am I crazy for being like, did you, like, not think, like, before you came to a gas station, before you came to a grocery store, to, like, have a realistic situation assessment with yourself? Like, am I gonna, like, can I actually buy anything? Or am I just gonna go there and spray and pray and hope that someone buys something for me? Like, that is some crazy entitlement, in my opinion. Thinking you could just go somewhere and, like, someone's gonna just pay it for you, like, as a stranger. That is wild to me. But there are people that have gone around a lot of their lives where someone's always picked up the tab. You know, and I get it. Like, as ladies out here, there are ladies who have never had to worry about paying for food in their life in terms of, like, when they go out to eat. And I get it. You know, there are actual grown women that will go to bars, go to clubs, go there with no money and get everything they need out of it. Because there are guys that will pay for it. Guys who pretend that they're going to get some pussy because, you know, the girl will be like, oh, you're kind of cute. And he's like, whoa. Thank you, Lydia. When really she's just trying to get drunk enough to think you're actually cute. And and I'm right there. But no, it is odd, like, because there are people that actually, and the weirdest part is these viral videos, and I think I've talked about before, where you have these group birthday dinners where it's someone's birthday and they bring, typically it's a girl's birthday, let's be honest. Like, a guy doesn't have a birthday party and a bunch of guys are fighting at the table for who pays for it. Typically, it's like that stuff is either settled beforehand or, like, everyone, like, if worse comes to worse, it's like, hey, we'll just split it. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Whatever. Only when it's, like, a girl's birthday. Typically, like, a girl in between the ages of, like, 16 to, like, it could range up to 37 actually nowadays, because people make their birthdays like a 9-week festival now. And it's like, the process of giving birth to you, having your homecoming birth, having the baby shower didn't even last 9 weeks. Why the fuck are we celebrating your useless birthday for 9 weeks? It's crazy. People really do be like really thinking their birthday is special, when really it is just a way for them to feel a little bit more important, when it's not even the most important day. Because the most important day is the day Christ was born. And without Christ, there's no you. And without you, there's no us. And without us, there's no Christ to pass on to kids, But no. It really is like, and there's these viral videos of a girl having like her birthday party. She invites like 5 or 6 friends. And the dad's like, oh, well, no, I'm paying for me and my daughter. The rest of y'all can kick rocks. Y'all wanted to order this all-you-can-eat steak and lobster at an hibachi place when the standard was $27, but you guys want to order this $88 thing. Like, nah, fuck y'all. I never said I was going to pay for y'all. And it's an odd thing, because, all that stuff should always be discussed beforehand. And people say, well, no matter what, it's your daughter's birthday. If they're your friend, they're her friends. Like, yeah, if they're like 15, 18, or like in their young 20s and stuff like that. But I'm sorry. Like, if I'm a father, right? And let's say I'm an old geezer, all right? And let's say I have a 28-year-old daughter, right? And all of her friends are like in between the ages of like 26 to like 35. We'll just say that's a reasonable age, because, some are friends from work. You're going to have an age variation of like, oh, you got some younger. She's got her friends she's attached from her college years, so they're going to be around the same age. And she's got some new friends from work that have experienced her to the older lifestyle. So she's got that 36-year-old divorce that's trying to make her a hoe. But I'm like, no, that's my daughter, you slut. And they, they'll be invited, whatever. And it'll be them that really thinks that, like, I should pay for them. And the way I look is like, look, if you're like a teenager, young adult in college, like, I'm not, like, if I invited you, it's always like, if I invited you, if she invited you, and I said, yeah, you know what, we'll go ahead, they can all come, I got it covered. Then you know what? That's that. But if you come and I did not invite you, and I'll probably tell you, like, hey, so, I'll just tell you beforehand, like, hey, I'm just letting y'all know I'm not paying for all 6 of you, because I know none of you, and some of you I'm not really big fans of. So you pay for your own food, we're cool, And the thing is, it's not about, I don't care if I make $10 million a year. It's always about the principle. I know that sounds fucked up. It doesn't matter if I make $40,000 a year or $10 million a year. The same rules have to always apply. I am not paying for your whole ass friends, especially ones that I don't think have contributed anything beneficial to your life but potential problems. All right, and maybe that's my lazy analysis. I don't know them that well, and that's not my fair judgment to make, but it is my money. And you're my daughter. And you know what? At the end of the day, when they leave your ass and your boyfriend cheats on you with them, guess who you're going to come back to live with? This fucking guy. When you lose everything that I tried to tell you to avoid from, who you going to come back? This guy. I sound like an asshole, but I wouldn't say it like that. But is it ever not the case? I'm such a fool. But no, on a serious note, like, it is not it's weird that people would go somewhere and you should always just be ready to pay for your own. It's really not that difficult. Because emergency shit happens. Like, what if I try to pay for it and my credit card declines because my bank stopped my bank account because there was some fraudulent activity because someone was using my card and I didn't know about it. And now someone's got to pay this bill. It ain't going to be me because someone fraudulently used my card because I actually have money to steal, unlike the rest of y'all. So, big boy problems here. You all, but most importantly, you all have jobs. Isn't that crazy? Grown people with jobs go places and think that someone else, some strangers, are going to pay for them. It is the wildest thing in my opinion. Maybe this is my Americanized, I've been conditioned by the system type of thing of whatever. I'm not talking about your kids. I'm not talking about your girlfriend. I'm not talking about your wife. And I'm not talking about people you care about. I'm talking about strangers that you have never met before that situation. Or they're not in the delicate responsibility of your realm to give a shit about. Because you know what? As an old man at that point, what would I be, like 59, 60 years old? I'm going to look at you and I am going to be one of the most judgmental motherfuckers you will ever come across. Because I think the thing with age, you become a judgmental motherfucker. And you should be. You have seen too much to be optimistic about anyone's characteristics that you think are pieces of shit. Because as much as we want to shit on older individuals, our elders, our parents, our grandparents, when they tell you someone is a problem, they're typically right about it. I could say in my life, anytime my mom's like, I don't know about this one, she was absolutely right. Every single time. Every time, my dad would be like, oh, this fucking asshole. You know what happened? Their son ended up being addicted to meth. Alright? And you would see mugshots of him multiple times every year. You know what? He was on to something. You notice things when you get older. You're not blinded by fake dreams. You're not blinded by people that sell you something. You literally just look at people and you're like, this fucking guy. This guy's trying to present himself as someone that he's not. He's phony. And that's why, us guys, we can, literally, when we see a guy trying to court a girl, or we see a guy that talks about the dynamics of women, and you could tell when a guy has actually truly experienced enough shit, or has a true understanding, or if he's just so butthurt, maybe sometimes literally, so butthurt by things, that he is just there's so much animosity in how he talks about things. And he doesn't actually understand the bigger scope of what he's talking about. It's just so insulated in this tunnel vision based off circumstances or incidents that happened in his life. But he can't step outside of it to truly look at something. It's crazy. But it's a man's world. Yeah. I guess the moral of today's episode is don't be a guy afraid to enjoy the fruity sensations that the world provides, That's a big pause. Don't let enjoy some of the amenities life has to offer. Enjoy a little alcohol here and there. Enjoy some drugs. Enjoy the drugs. I'm kidding. Don't do drugs. Especially pharmaceuticals. Those are the worst. It's weird how saying anything about pharmaceutical drugs should be a last resort is somehow will get you kicked off the internet, which just goes to show you a bigger issue. But what's weird is like Sinead O'Connor. I know this is random as fuck, but she got literally kicked off SNL. Never performing there again. And probably TV in general. I don't know what. She probably didn't perform much on TV after that. The famous instance where in front of the camera, she stopped playing music. Or before she started playing, I can't remember. She has a picture of the Pope of the Vatican and rips the papers into shreds. And saying, I'm against the Catholic Church and pedophilia. Which is like, okay, I understand the issue of mass generalizing every single Catholic and all that stuff. But the fact that people are mad that she's like, I'm against pedophilia. It's like, if you're against that, I don't know what to tell you. I think it says a lot about you. You know, you could be mad about her mass generalizing a religion or a group, whatever. And that's fine. But there's a lot of history of it, and it seems to be inbred into the system, but that's neither here nor there. You know, just watch a Spotlight. And I'm not talking about the Jennifer Hudson song, which apparently there's some conspiracy Illuminati shit that she sacrificed. Her family history of brother dying and stuff like that, family dying, apparently may have been a sacrifice for her fame. I don't even know too much about it, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but it is interesting in all the wrong ways. But yeah, look, the moral of today's pod is, you know, sit back. I would say recline, but I can't recline. There's no recline. Sit back, decline, enjoy some wine, and touch her feline. I know I said that at the beginning, and I thought about that a couple hours ago before I did the episode, and I was a little bit too proud of that. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm a man that when I think of something, I abuse the shit out of that phrase. God. That almost went somewhere completely misinterpreted. When I come up with the saying or cliche, I abuse the shit out of that. But as the most famous cliche in American history, that was episode 301 of the Off Beat Podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, most important, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to suck some titties. And yeah, you know, just avoid strangers' parties. Don't get caught taking pictures with people that make suspect behavior. But most importantly, don't associate with people that don't line up with what you would want to be associated with. It's not really that hard. But yeah, in the meantime, yeah. Have a great day, morning, night, evening. Meep, meep.